Four things I liked about the Inov-8 Fastlift 370 BOA weightlifting shoe. Number one is the weight. So if you're brand new to Inov-8 models, generally the number in the title of the model indicates the overall weight of the model. So in this case, it's a 370 BOA, AKA this shoe weighs 370 grams, which comes out to about 13 ounces. Now that's very light for a weightlifting shoe. This is a great shoe for not slowing down your overall foot turnover. My second pro with this model is just the overall stability. I like the MetaFlex up here on the forefoot, provides a little bit of accommodation for like getting up to your toes. It doesn't take too long to break in, and the overall TPU heel that has like the kind of power truss technology, which is these pillars back here that are made to be hollow but firm, provide a lot of support, and they keep the shoe lightweight. My third pro with this model is just the overall construction. This shoe seems very durable. I haven't noticed any forms of breakdown. There's a full nylon outer construction, and it seems like it's not having a lot of stitching throughout that would fray during, like, let's say abrasion or just overall wear and tear from wearing it on a daily basis, or if you're wearing it a lot for, let's say, things like rope climbs and other movements that are a little bit more dynamic in nature, like in functional fitness workouts. I think this shoe is gonna stand the test of time. My final pro with this model is the overall security. So this model has two different BOA lacing systems. So it has a strap going across and the BOA up here at the top that you crank tight. Overall, it provides this shoe with a really stable feeling and really secure feeling. Now, is it the best for prolonging that security? No, they do come undone. You have to tighten them up a little bit over longer duration workouts. But overall, the security is pretty great on this model, especially since you could crank both shoes to be exactly the same tightness. Two cons I have with this model is number one, I wish there was a little bit more material here on the medial and forefoot, midfoot area. It's not the thickest that I've ever tried, and in all honesty, it's not the most comfortable. Now it performs well, and it does fit pretty well, but I usually like a little bit more material, especially around the boot and the midfoot, just because it does provide your foot with a little bit more of a snug, comfortable feeling. Now don't get me wrong, I understand that this is a lightweight model, so you probably have to cut material somewhere to achieve that goal. But all in all, I wish there was a little bit more material throughout the midfoot. The second con I have with this shoe is the double BOA lacing system. Now, this is for everyone out there that loves like that traditional lace and strap feeling in their weightlifting shoes. This is double BOA laces, so this strap here does not come off, it stays secure. And also the tongue here is a little bit limited just because you can only loosen the BOA to a certain extent. So BOA is in the name of this model, and BOA is exactly what you're getting. If you like laces and having a traditional strap, then I think you're gonna find this shoe to be a little bit tough to work with at times. So for the Inov-8 Fastlift 370 BOA, you can expect to pay around $190. Now, if you're used to buying brand new big brand weightlifting shoes, that falls pretty much in line with what you can expect to pay. Most shoes come out to $200. This is $190, so you are saving like $10, but it's not the most cost efficient model on the market. If you like the double BOA lacing, then I would say the price could be justified, and especially if you're looking for a lightweight and overall pretty durable model. So now let's chat on the performance of this model. I'm gonna break this section into two different areas. We have compound movements, and then we have functional fitness workouts. In compound movements, this shoe is gonna be exactly what you can expect from any TPU-based weightlifting shoe. It's super stable. It has a 0.65-inch heel, which is pretty standard across the board. Now, usually weightlifting shoes have 0.75. If you look at something like the Powerlift, that has like a 0.6, 0.65 heel. So that feels very similar to this. I find that 0.65 is accommodating for a lot of athletes, and if you're just brand new to weightlifting shoes, I think 0.65 is often a good bet for you. So under compound movements, I think this shoe is very great. It's super stable, feels super secure with the double BOA, and the MetaFlex forefoot up here in the outsole is accommodating for triple extension. So when you're performing weightlifting movements, it's not incredibly tough to break these in and get up on the toes. Now let's talk about functional fitness. In my opinion, this is one of the better weightlifting shoes for functional fitness. It's super lightweight. It has the construction to kind of last because it has like a synthetic layer overlap over here on the big toe. So if you're dragging your toe in box jump burpees, for example, that are programmed in the workout with like, let's say a squat, this is gonna resist that abrasion, and it's gonna last a little bit longer than some of your more traditional, like let's say just mesh tops. So overall, I think this is a good bet for functional fitness athletes. The 0.65-inch heel isn't incredibly high. The overall construction is pretty durable, it's secure, and best of all, it's lightweight. All right, so now let's talk about the size and fit of this model. So there are double BOA laces here. So I've laced this up, and I kind of want to unlace it just to give you an idea of how this shoe actually goes on and fits. So for this side strap, you have to just crank, and that will loosen this strap up. It does not come off. And then for this strap, you pull up, and then that gives you some slack. So let's put it on now. Pull the shoe tight. I like to put on the top first, obviously, and then I'll pull the strap down, similar to if I was lacing and putting on the shoe normally. Let's crank this puppy tight. Overall, it's super secure. You can pull this as secure as you want, and I like that there's no bunching. One thing I was worried about with the double BOA is that there were gonna be 4-foot bunching down here. No sign of bunching whatsoever. The boot feels pretty snug. There's never any heel slip. You can really crank this as much as you want to provide that nice tight feeling. Up here on the toe, I'm not feeling limited up here with the toe splay. There is about, I'd say like a 1/2 inch to a 3/4 inch up here. So this shoe itself fits very true. I'm a size 10, this is a size 10 model, so it fits pretty true to size. It's important to note that Inov-8 is kind of known for making a more slim fitting shoe. So the midfoot here is a little bit tight. So if you do have a wider or flatter foot, it might be worth considering when looking into this model. But for most folks, I think this shoe will fit pretty true to size. All right, so now let's dive into the construction of the Inov-8 Fastlift 370 BOA lifting shoe. I'll start up here on the toe and make my way to the heel. Up here on the toe, we have an outsole lip that comes up. It's not incredibly wide, although I don't think it's gonna totally lip and break down. It's pretty thin, so it doesn't really lip at all. What I like most about the toe up here though, is this overlay of like a synthetic layer. I mentioned that in the performance, but it's really good for durability. It really helps this shoe go the test of time when you're dragging the toe a lot, especially in functional fitness workouts. We have a full nylon outer construction, feels pretty true throughout. Making our way through the midfoot, pretty standard when it comes to a weightlifting shoe drop and everything else. Our heel here is a Power Truss TPU heel. Power Truss is Inov-8's system for creating these pillars that are hollow. It keeps the shoe light, but keeps the shoe stable. And all in all, I think that it's a really cool feature that Inov-8's trying to tackle with the lightness of the shoe. We have an additional TPU kind of heel clip back here, provides a lot of stability. Making our way to the double BOA lacing, and I wanted to save this for kind of almost last. So we mentioned this in the size and fit and just how this shoe works, but we have double BOA laces here. This lace, you just crank and it pulls the shoe looser and tighter. And then this one up here, you click and turn, and then you pull and open. So we have the BOA laces that go up. We have 3 areas here where the BOA laces insert. We have one obviously over here on the strap. So that's pretty much all that comes into the BOA laces. The tongue is a little bit thicker and padded. That's a cool feature just for the functional fitness athlete who's gonna be doing a lot of rope climbs and needs a little bit of padding here. If they do like, let's say like a J or S lock with the rope itself. Making our way to the outsole, full rubber outsole. You can see the little pillars here from the Power Truss heel. We have a MetaFlex 4-foot up here, and that's pretty cool for just the overall accommodating feeling of getting up onto the toes in this model. So overall, I think those are the main construction features with this shoe. It looks a lot more complicated than it is. The outer construction is pretty simple. The double BOA laces are probably the most complex part of the shoe, but again, it's not incredibly complicated when it comes to just the overall construction features of the model itself. And that wraps up my review of the Inov-8 Fastlift 370 BOA weightlifting shoe. I've got to say, this has got to be one of the most interesting weightlifting shoes I've ever tried. I've never lifted in a weightlifting shoe with double BOA laces, so it's definitely on the unique side of things. If you want to read more of my full thoughts on this model, make sure to Google BarBend and Inov-8 Fastlift 370 BOA.